Hey, this is Rob Weiser from artofim.com. Now on April 24th, Google dropped another bomb on the whole SEO community, and a lot of websites that we've been using to make money online were negatively affected. We saw our traffic get slammed in some cases. It was a really dark day for a lot of webmasters. The name of this latest Google algorithm update was Penguin. Now, of course, you've heard of the Panda updates. This latest one in late April 2012 was called Penguin, and I know Google likes to give these cute, cuddly names to their updates, but there's nothing cute about waking up one morning and seeing that 50% or 80% of your traffic evaporated overnight, and you have no idea why. Well, the reason why was Penguin, and so in this video, we're going to look at some of the reasons that Penguin may have affected your site, some of the reasons why Penguin may affect your site in the future, and we're going to discuss some fixes you can make to your site, some tweaks to make your site Penguin-proof moving forward, and also so that if you have lost some traffic due to your keywords getting slammed off the first page, we're going to talk about how to get your site back, how to recover your rankings, and build your site up and make it totally Penguin-friendly, so that your competitors will get slapped around and penalized while you keep rising in the rankings. Now, it seems that the main purpose of this Penguin update was to target SEO, search engine optimization. So Penguin was looking for signals and signs that your site was using a lot of SEO techniques in order to rank higher in the search engine. Now, the whole idea of SEO really is a violation of Google's policies because Google's business model is founded upon delivering the most relevant, high-quality results to its search users, okay? So what's been happening, of course, is that, maybe we're all guilty of this, is that, you're using SEO to get your site onto the first page of Google and hopefully into the top 3 spots. But does your site really deserve to be there? Are you actually offering the most relevant and the highest quality information and content on that topic? Probably not, okay? But in the past, we've been able to use a lot of SEO techniques, like a lot of backlinking strategies and a lot of automated tools and a lot of black hat tools. We've been able to use those things to get up high in the search engines, and Google now is taking a very aggressive stance against this. They're really combating SEO. And so really the key difference between Penguin and Panda was that Panda was looking at your on-page content. It was looking at the quality of your content, how relevant it was, how well it was written. You were penalized for having bad content. You were also penalized by Panda if your site really didn't look credible and didn't really look trustworthy. That's why in the Google Resurrection course, we talk about adding trust pages to your site and really making your site look, to the human eye like an authoritative website on your topic. Now, Panda also looked at links. Generally, it looked at your outbound links. So if you had links on your website that were pointing out to spammy, low-quality websites, that will get you penalized as well. Now, Penguin has taken this to a whole other level, and it's kind of scary, actually, because what Penguin is looking at, as far as off-page, is it's looking at the quality of your inbound links. So it's looking at all the links that are pointing at your website, okay? And if those links are spammy, if Google doesn't like where those links are coming from, you're going to get slapped for it. So this has given rise to this whole controversial argument going on about whether negative SEO can now work. Now, let me explain. In the past, we used tools like Scrapebox or XRummer or SENuke. There were all kinds of article submission services that would blast your stuff all over the internet and get you tons of backlinks pointing back at your website, okay? And up until now, it all worked. I mean, it worked to varying degrees, but it didn't harm your site. So you could use a black hat tool like SENuke or Scrapebox to create, 10,000 links to your site in a very short amount of time. Now, when Google went and found all those links, it may have ignored a lot of them. It may have not given you much credit because Google knew that they were rather spammy, but Google didn't slap your website for having those links. It ignored them or gave you a little bit of credit. Well, now with Google Penguin, what happened was sites were getting slapped and losing their rankings and their traffic because Penguin was detecting bad, spammy inbound links pointing at you. So this whole idea of negative SEO is like, before, webmasters and SEO experts all said, the reason why you can't get penalized for having spammy inbound links pointing at you, is simply because if that was the case, then we could all, use SENuke and Scrapebox and XRarmor and blast tons of spammy backlinks and point those backlinks at our competitors. So we could do spammy link campaigns to hurt our competitors, if this was the case. And that was the logic. The logic was, obviously Google cannot penalize you for inbound links, because if so, then it would be a total free-for-all and we'd all be building millions of spammy backlinks to take our competitors down and knock them off the front page. Well, the crazy thing is this now appears to be a reality. With Penguin, it does in fact seem that spammy inbound links will hurt you. So that means you've got to lay off the XRarmor and the SENuke and the Scrapebox and all those tools. You can still use them. There still is a place for them in your SEO strategy, but you definitely don't want to point any of those crappy low-quality links at your money site. You want to point them at your buffer sites. You should have Web 2.0 properties and blogs that feed link juice to your money site. And your spammy links, if you're going to build spammy links, then on the outer ring of this whole thing, those links point at the buffer sites, then the buffer sites funnel that link juice to your money site. But you should never show Google a direct connection between spammy links and your money site. All right. So this means that stop going on Fiverr.com and paying $5 to get 5,000 backlinks to your money site. This will get you hurt in a big way. And negative SEO does appear to be a reality. There are services now that you can actually pay, allegedly, and they will, use bad backlinking to destroy your competition. Now, it's pretty unethical and nothing that I'm interested in doing, but it is out there, just so you're aware. Now, the main key here, the main thing Penguin was searching for, was signs of over-optimization. All right, SEO is search engine optimization. Well, over-optimization means you're making it pretty obvious to Google that you are using SEO. Okay. Now, what are some examples of obvious, of over-optimization? Well, the big one, and actually I'll admit one of my sites got slammed for this by Penguin. One of the big signals, one of the big red flags, is obvious anchor text repetition. All right. So I had a site in the dating niche for men, and I was targeting a keyword like how to talk to girls, all right? So I did all kinds of SEO backlinking campaigns. I used all kinds of tools, and the problem was that I was using that keyword as my anchor text in well over 90% of my links, all right? So here's what you can do. Go to ahrefs.com and type in your URL and run a search on it. And this free service will return a list of your backlinks. It'll show what they look like. It'll show, show where they're coming from, what they look like. So you'll actually see the anchor text that is in that link. So for example, if you were targeting the keyword, how to burn stomach fat, then your anchor text would be how to burn stomach fat. And if you were using SEO tactics the way most of us have been doing until now, you probably had that anchor text again and again and again in your backlinks. And this looks unnatural to Google. Because think of it this way, if you really did have a super high quality, popular website, other sites would naturally find you and link to you, But they wouldn't use that anchor text when they link to you. They have no idea what kind of keyword you're trying to rank for. So instead, they would have links that said, hey, I discovered this awesome site on losing weight. I just tried it on my diet recently and it worked for me. Click here to read all about it. And the words click here would be the anchor text, Or they might have a long phrase as the anchor text. They might say, check out this website for some great fat burning secrets, Or they might just post the URL of your website and that'll be the link. So these are all examples of ways that people might naturally link to your site. What looks unnatural is when 90% of your incoming links all have the same anchor text, how to burn stomach fat, how to burn stomach fat, ways to burn stomach fat, how to burn stomach fat, how to burn stomach fat easily, So that's a clear sign to Google that someone affiliated with this website is really trying like hell to get that keyword, to get ranked for that keyword. And that's when Penguin would bring the hammer down and slap you and you would lose that keyword ranking. So the rule of thumb now is that no more than 50% of your anchor text and your links should be a money keyword, a keyword you were trying to rank for. So if 50% of your links have the anchor text of that keyword you're gunning for, the other 50% should have anchor text like click here or watch this or here's a great blog or just the URL of your site. That creates a diverse link profile. Now, Penguin was also looking at on-page factors. It wasn't only looking at the links pointing to you, it was also looking at on-page stuff for signals and signs of over-optimization. For example, insufficient deep links. Let's say your site is about how to train your dog, and your site is howtotrainyourdog.com. Now, if you were to look at your backlink profile using a tool like Ahrefs, okay, and it comes back with the results, is it going to show that 90% or more of your links are all pointing at your main homepage? Or is it going to show that a lot of your articles and pages have links coming to them, or your links spread out throughout the site? Because think of it this way, again, a site that is truly an authority site that is high quality and super relevant and has great content, naturally, they're going to have links pointing to all their pages and all their articles, not just their homepage. When you have tons of links pointing at your homepage, but not very many links pointing to your other pages, again, that is a clear sign to Google that someone affiliated with this website is really trying to over-optimize it for that specific keyword. So, spread those links out. Also, your title tags and your meta tags, stop trying to jam as many keywords as possible into your meta tags. It's another clear sign that you're trying to optimize your site for those keywords, which Google does not want. And your title tags should read like real titles. If you're trying to rank for the term how to train your dog, you would not want to have a title tag for your website that said something like how to train your dog / how to train a dog / tips for dog training, okay? That looks very unnatural, like total over-optimization, you know? The same goes for the titles of your articles and your blog posts. You want to create titles that look like actual headlines that you might see in a magazine. So in my case, I mentioned earlier how one of my sites was about how to talk to girls, and that one got slammed by Penguin. Well, I was looking at it and reviewing it after my traffic got slammed, and I noticed that in my right sidebar I had a widget, a WordPress widget called Recent Posts. It's a very popular widget, many of us use it, and it shows your most recent 5 or 7 articles on your site. And my headlines in that widget looked like, how to talk to girls, how to talk to a girl, how to talk to girls if you are shy, how to talk to a girl at the mall, how to talk to girls at bars, and so forth. So it was really obvious that I was trying to rank for a specific couple of keywords. And instead, your titles should read like real magazine headlines. I always think of the magazine Cosmo. It's a women's magazine, but they have great, headline copy on the cover. They have titles like, 7 secrets your man wishes you knew in the bedroom, or the 3, the 3, cheating secrets of unfaithful men, or the 3 reasons why men become unfaithful to you. They're very kind of salacious and juicy, and oftentimes they involve, 7 tips or 10 techniques or the 5 secrets. Think about incorporating some of those into your headlines for your articles. And what this will do is it will look more natural to Google, but also it will increase the stickiness of your website. We're going to discuss stickiness more in a moment, but essentially one of your main goals moving forward now in order to penguin-proof your site and recover your rankings if you lost your rankings is you want to increase the amount of time your users spend on your site. You don't want them coming to your site, taking a quick look, and then bouncing back to the Google search engine to keep searching, because that's the ultimate sign to Google that you do not deserve a top ranking because you are not giving users what they are looking for, all right? Now, by having good article titles, if you've got links to your other articles on your main page, if you're using the Recent Posts widget, and you have those cleverly written headlines, then the user is far more likely to click on one of those links and to keep reading. Once he's done with your first article, he'll click one of those links and proceed to another article. And this is how your site becomes very sticky. Now, the ultimate example of a sticky website would be YouTube. How many times have you gone to YouTube and only watched one video and then left? Normally you go to YouTube and you get kind of sucked in because YouTube keeps showing you related videos on the sides. They even come up on screen when your video ends. So there's all these motivations for you to keep clicking and watching more. And so think of YouTube when you lay out your site and when you create your headlines. You want to give your users as many reasons as possible to keep reading and watching, relevant stuff.